Hi guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with yet another Lucian commentary guide. Now there's no complete guide yet because I have not actually played him in ranked. But as I mentioned in my previous Lucian video, I have actually been doing a lot of testing on both Lucian and Senna. The two of them are actually the first two champions that I completely tested myself, all of their builds. So I tried like 3 different builds on Lucian and 3 different builds on Senna, as well as different runes for Senna. For Lucian, obviously Conqueror is the best. Yeah, so you know, these builds will change, especially since in the dev diary they did already announce that new items are coming, like Essence Reaver for example, which will definitely be built by Lucian. So the builds will definitely change for like all champions when that happens, but this is gonna be the most updated as of now. So I'm also going to be having a fasting Senna video coming out after this, and also going to be starting a new series after this. So yeah, I haven't been having a lot of time to play rank because I've been making a lot of different videos. So if you guys like that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So here we get into the game proper. So as you guys can see, I'm laning with my duo partner Zenri, and she's playing Leona this time instead of Nami, just because we're going to try it out. So here we have a very unfortunate instance. So Pantheon was 1 HP, and I actually cast my Q through a minion to try to kill him. However, he flashed out of the way as he should, so we don't actually pick up the kill on the Pantheon, and instead we both die. Thankfully, Rammus is in the area, so he does manage to pick up the kill onto the Pantheon, but that was just really tragic for us. We got a really nice Leona engage into like all my damage, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough to kill the Pantheon because he flashed out of my Q, so that's just really unfortunate. But you know, it is what it is, so we're just gonna have to continue on from there. At least Rammus did get a response kill and get some gold in his pocket. So here we're just going to clear out the wave, of course. Now Leona, after her continuous buffs, is now actually really good as I expected, and I mentioned in the patch notes review. With her W buff, she is actually decently tanky now. Now I have actually played Leona myself. I do have a commentary guide on it as well. You know, that will be definitely linked above. But what I was trying to say is that I have actually played Leona myself, and Leona is not tanky at all. She's just mainly used for her engage and not for her tankiness at all. But now she actually is tanky, and you can actually use it for tankiness. So here, Pantheon engages on me. I'm gonna have to barrier that, so he forces out my barrier. Unfortunately, no choice there. But after this W buff on Leona, she is actually very tanky now. So I do believe she's gonna be like maybe an S tier, S+ tier support. Here it's a little bit far of an engage for me to follow up, but I get there eventually and do get the kill on the Pantheon. I get ignited, so I'm gonna have to hightail it out of there, and I'm gonna just recall while Leona is distracting the Xayah. Here I actually catch a glimpse of Lee Sin coming down, and of course as usual on voice chat I'm just telling her that the Lee Sin is coming, but honestly there's not too much she can do. It's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Health is pretty low. It's either she kind of dies to Xayah or Lee Sin, so arguably Lee Sin is the lesser of the two evils, arguably, so because Xayah is gonna scale way better. But Lee Sin is a lot better early game. Here I'm just standing between, I'm just keeping the minion between me and Lee Sin, so he can't actually Q onto me until he of course walks away. After which I just walk back up to the lane. They already managed to collect a plate, and my CSing under the tower is horrible in this particular match. So yeah, don't really pick up the cannon there. Here Pantheon engages onto Leona, so here I'm just going to continue more or less poking the Pantheon. The one bad thing about Lucian that I also mentioned in my previous commentary guide is just how low his range is. So as you guys can see, I'm actually kind of struggling against the Xayah. Of course, Pantheon being around makes it a lot better. It's not a range support, so I can sort of harass the Pantheon and sort of be useful. But if it was like a range support with a Xayah, it would be pretty challenging for me because I can't really lay down any poke or harass with my short range. So anyways, as for the build, you guys will see it later. In our previous commentary guide, we did go Blade of the Rune King into Black Cleaver, and then Static Shiv, and then followed by Infinity Edge. But this time, we're gonna see later on. But here, Lee Sin actually goes onto me and uses everything. But with my ultimate and my flash, I actually managed to survive, and in a relatively healthy state as well after picking up the honey fruit. So that is that's really nice. I managed to dash to reposition myself before he could kick me back towards the Pantheon. So he ends up kicking me into the wall, which doesn't actually do too much for him. So that's really really good dash on my part here. Yasuo actually comes in onto all four of us, and lesson here is that even if they're too low HP squishy targets, you never want to jump into 4 people of the enemy team, and he does pay the price for it. So here we have picked up our first item, which is the Blade of the Rune King, of course, and I'm just sitting waiting in the fountain for a while so I can pick up my boots as well before going over to the dragon area. So here we pick up boots, but I'm just gonna give you guys a spoiler for what the item build is gonna be. After Blade of the Rune King, we're gonna be building Infinity Edge, as well as followed by Static Shiv, then Moral Reminder, and then Guardian Angel. Now the reason for this is Black Cleaver, as I said in the video itself that I featured Black Cleaver, is that it was just me testing. Black Cleaver isn't an ideal item for Lucian unless for utility purposes. There are matches that you will build Black Cleaver, but it honestly is rarely the case. So this build is way better. I used to build Static Shiv before Infinity Edge, but I realized the problem that you have high attack speed with the Blade of the Rune King and the Static Shiv, but you have only like 20 attack damage from the Blade of the Rune King, so that doesn't cut it. You need the 55 attack damage from the Infinity Edge, so you do go for that first before the Static Shiv, and you only get Static Shiv as your third item. Now something I also mentioned in my previous video is that I like taking the Gluttonous Greaves on Lucian with the Stasis. I've completely changed my mind on that. Now I think Ionian Boots is probably better just to have lower cooldowns to spam your abilities more, which will prog your passive more as well. So overall it increases your damage output significantly, and also you have enough healing from the Blade of the Rune King and the Ravenous Hunter, I believe, which is the lifesteal rune. I didn't take Brew, I took the lifesteal rune. Here I'm just picking up a tower plate. Here I'm just ulting. I get my full ult off onto the Xayah and the Pantheon. Xayah flashes forward to kill the Leona, but has to of course trade her life for it. No way you're gonna get out from eating the entire Lucian ultimate and the entire Lucian combo and, you know, get away with it. But she does trade her life for Leona, so honestly I don't think that's a good trade at all. It's overall 2 for 1 in favor of my team, so that probably wasn't too good move for the Xayah. She also blows her flash, so probably not the best move from the Xayah, although it is her first death. Here Pantheon is coming back in. Here I'm just gonna dash, you know, of course get off my passives in between each auto, W auto, Q auto, everything, and we do pick up the kill, and also barrier just to be safe so we don't you know, accidentally die. Now one of the problems that I have when playing Wild Rift is I'm really greedy with my cooldowns. So I tend to hold on to like Barrier or Zhonya's for way too long until I'm actually dead. So of course I want to avoid that, so I just hit my Barrier there. Here Lucian actually with a very good gank splitting up me and Leona, so I can't actually go and help her get onto the Xayah. So both of us do get chunked out significantly, but Rammus and Twisted Fate is here to sort of help us out. Yasuo in the area as well, but gets chunked out completely by the two of them. Here Lucian sets down the Herald. I'm going to try to clear out the wave as best I can. No idea where that Lucian Q was headed to. That Sonic Wave was going nowhere near me. So unfortunately we do lose the tower, unavoidable of course with the Rift Herald, but we're just going to clear off the Herald, and with my Blade of the Rune King as well as my Ravenous Hunter, I am actually getting a decent amount of healing from basically no health. I'm now to about half health. Of course still not the healthiest of states, but you know, it's pretty decent. So here I'm going to pick up the BF Sword as well as the Cloak and the Ionian Boots of Lucidity as well. Of course building towards the Infinity Edge. Pretty close at this point in time. So here we're just going to clear out the minions, and we're going to rotate mid where a fight is happening here. Yeah, so wind wall, so I have to dash over the wind wall, walk over the wind wall, and he knocks me up, and I finally pick up the kill here with my auto. I ult because I know that they are chasing, but unfortunately Pantheon stuns me, which interrupts my ult, and Akali, gotta give props to her, amazing prediction on my dash, actually hits the shuriken onto me, so unfortunately I die there. And Riven also dies as she goes in on the entire enemy team. Of course that is never advisable. So Rammus is just left to defend the mid tier 2. Honestly, it's not going too bad so far. As a Lucian, you always want to be aggressive in the early to mid game, because that's where your main strength is. When he gets to late game, he sort of does get outscaled by like Kaisa, Zayas, and the other hyper carries of the world, Jinx, so on. So you sort of need to be aggressive in the early and mid game and sort of get a lead, which is what I'm kind of doing here. I'm 5-2-1. Of course, not like a perfect KDA, but it's still relatively good. Shows that I've been putting on a lot of pressure and getting kills on the enemy as well. So here in the downtime, of course, we're going to farm the Crux. Then we're going to hit over to the wave to farm the wave. As I said, you don't want to leave any farm left untouched. Majority of the time your jungler isn't even going to take the Crux. So if the Crux are up, you can take it. Why not? Here Dragon is up, of course, so we're going to basically rotate towards the Dragon area. Here Yasuo is in a fight with Riven. Prediction on the solar flare goes off. Here the Yasuo wind wall blocks my entire ultimate, but I do manage to pick up the Yasuo with my light slinger passive, managing to get the double kill onto the Pantheon as well. Here I'm gonna have to flash to follow up with the triple and the Quadra. So here we have an amazing Quadra kill by me. Akali is in the top lane, no chance of a penta for me there, unfortunately. So here I wasn't initially going to go for Dragon, but team decides to go for a mid lane tier 1 instead. Honestly, not the worst. We still pick up an objective. Mid lane tier 1 is the most important tower of the game, so it's not really the worst trade-offs. Akali of course recalls to defend her mid tier 2. Here I'm just trying to pick up a plate before I go, but it doesn't really happen. And I use my movement speed on my W to escape. Now, of course, if you guys didn't know, your movement speed on your W can actually be procced by allies as well. So I was already walking away, and Twisted Fate procced my W mark on the Akali and allowed me to speed up and run away faster, which of course is always helpful. Now, of course, enemy team is doing the Dragon, so we do basically end up trading the mid lane tier 1 for the Dragon. I wouldn't say it's the best trade, but I also did get a Quadra there, but it definitely isn't the best trade. So here Twisted Fate actually manages to lead Destiny out of this precarious situation, which rarely ever happens. Normally Twisted Fates get burst down way too fast before they port out, but he does manage to do it. So this is a pretty back and forth game. As you guys can see, the enemy team is actually 5k gold ahead of us, and on my team I have majority of the gold. I have 10k gold, whereas like the entire rest of my team, the second most gold is on Riven, who is at 8.5k. So I have a decent gold lead even within my team. So here I'm pinging the Rams to let me take red. Thankfully he does listen, and I do give him the thumbs up for that. But the problem here is that I have the most gold like in the game period, after that Quadra especially. So I need to not die basically. Lucian is, he's really short range, so you're gonna have to dash into the enemy's faces to actually do damage. So you have to do that, but you have to time it right. Wait for their cooldowns to go down. Wait for the right timing. Wait for someone to frontline for you. So I gotta get up close and personal to kill the enemies, but at the same time I don't want to die. So I'm so fed that when on my previous back I managed to complete Infinity Edge and also pick up the entire static shiv. So here I've already hit basically more or less my biggest power spike, wherein I have my Blade of the Rune King and my 2 crit items. So that's amazing. Of course, you always want to pick up static shiv as your crit item and not anything else, because on Lucian he stacks it so well with his Light Stinger passive with the double shot. So here I'm gonna be chasing down some kills, of course being wary that the Yasuo is behind us. As you guys can see, there he is. Yasuo gets exhausted. Here I get a real nice ult opportunity, but of course Yasuo blocks it again with his wind wall. Here I'm going to die, unfortunately, which is exactly what we don't want to happen. Now I have to give it to the Yasuo. He has been blocking my ultimates with his wind wall really well. Of course you can't actually block like Lucian laser, which is his Q and all that, because it's not a projectile, it's a laser. So it doesn't actually work on that, but it does of course work on the Lucian ultimate. So he has been blocking it, and I believe that Yasuo actually maxed his W second instead of maxing his E second, because of how big his W shield is and he's not max level. He must have maxed his W second instead of his E. I assume just to counter my ultimate. So I don't know if that's a good trade-off from the Yasuo, but he's done it anyway, and it's definitely very annoying to play against for me. So here respawning. Of course, I'm clearing the wave. Now, my team is at a significant disadvantage here because we have already lost our mid inhibitor. Fortunately, as a result of me dying in that fight, the enemy picks up my mid inhib. So, to my point earlier, when you're the Fed carry on your team, you don't want to die, because if you die, your team is definitely going to lose something important. In my case, the mid inhibitor. So here we do get a pick onto the Akali, who was caught out. She nearly manages to slither her way to safety, but fortunately, Twisted Fate does hit his gold card onto the Akali and allowing the team to pick up the kill onto the Akali. So here, I'm just trying to push out mid. I gotta be careful because I'm alone and there's two of them here. As you can see, Pantheon has engaged on me. Here I get my ult off of the Pantheon, the entire ult onto the Pantheon. Pantheon eats the entire ult as he's trying to chase. So here I'm gonna dash behind the Xayah so that I don't get rooted by her feathers. Of course, I am a Xayah player myself, so I know what Xayah can do. Feels like a good time to advertise my Xayah complete guides, commentary guides, gameplays. Of course, put up in the cards above for your easy reference. So yeah, I definitely know what Xayah can do, and even in this entire game, I don't actually get rooted by Xayah a single time. Not in the lane phase, not in team fights, nowhere. Because I know exactly what Xayah does, I know exactly what Xayah wants to do, so I don't let myself get rooted, especially on a mobile AD carry like Lucian. I have the ability to dash out of the way or to reposition myself easily, unlike like other immobile AD carries. Like, let's say if I was a Jinx, it would be a little bit harder because I would have to like walk out of the way or not walk into her feathers, whereas with Lucian, I can actually walk between her and her feathers, and when she recalls her feathers, I can actually just dash out of the way, like what I did just now. So here, of course, another red buff spawn. I'm going to quickly pick up my red buff. Here I've picked up the Moral Reminder as well, and the Proto Belt, so of course really good. Now, the reason why I go for Proto Belt over Zhonya's is that since you're so low range, with Zhonya's most of the time enemies are already on you, you're probably dead anyway. Anyways, of course Zhonya's is still useful on Lucian, like any other AD carry, but in this case, Proto Belt is honestly a better option. So here, I'm gonna come in for the fight. Proto Belt is just a better option because you can have another dash to reposition yourself, because your dash is a pretty long cooldown. Here, I'm gonna ult the entire team. Managed to get the kill on the Pantheon. Light Slinger gets the kill on the Yasuo. Lee Sin actually kicks me to a really good position here, so I get another kill over here, triple kill, and Quadra onto the Yasuo. Now here the Akali is in the shard, I can see her. Twisted Fate with a really nice ultimate to reveal the Akali. Twisted Fate Destiny's over, stuns the Akali. I Proto Belt over, but Twisted Fate steals my pentakill away. So as you guys can see, I'm pretty pissed off here. I'm just pinging retreat, and he pings me retreat back. I don't know what I did to him that, you know, caused him to purposely steal my penta, but oh well, it is what it is. No penta for me, only 2 quadras in the game. At this point in time, as you guys can see, with 2 quadra kills, my goal is through the roof. Most goal in the game, and I am nearly full build. Just need a Guardian Angel. Of course, the entire enemy team is down, so we're just gonna do Baron. Here I'm just gonna pick up the skull for just that little bit more gold. Then we're just gonna do the Baron. Rammus is here, and the entire enemy team is respawning, but the Lee Sin has only just respawned, so he's not gonna make it here in time. Especially since we melt the Baron really fast. We do pick up the Baron. And of course, we have the issue of mid lane because we lost our inhibitor, so they have permanent priority, permanent pressure on mid lane. So here I'm going to clear up mid lane first, and then I will recall to get my Guardian Angel. Of course, Guardian Angel is a really important item on Lucian just because of how easy it is for you to die with your short range. You're going to be dashing in there a lot, so the Guardian Angel is going to be really useful to help give you a second chance if you do die. Of course, you want to avoid that happening in general. But here, our team is getting to another skirmish. They pick up the kill onto the Yasuo before I even arrive. And here, I'm just going to push out the wave here. So here, as you guys can see, ideally we should be pushing out mid, and we should be spreading the Baron to like other lanes. Ideally, at least 2 lanes. So here, I was originally wanting to go mid, but as you guys can see, Twisted Fate's ult has revealed the entire enemy team to be on the top side. So no one is like really pushing or anything. And I don't want to leave my team because, as I said, I have the most goal on my team and I am the team's carry, so I don't really want to leave my team alone. So I'm just gonna quickly push out that wave first before joining my team and going for the inhibitor tower take. So here I'm just gonna focus the inhib. There we go. Done. So here I'm gonna actually out through the minions onto the Xayah to get the kill onto Xayah. and we're just gonna, of course, quickly pick up the win. So of course, if you guys enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as usual, I'll leave you guys with the stats. Now, apart from my new series, another video on fasting Senna is gonna be released real soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and goodbye.